You're going to stop? Stop. Okay, good. I actually said, like, everybody sees that that's blinking red. I hit stop next. We're not going to have more music. Good. Okay. No, that was really good too. We were talking while it was on about, your mom, my mom, is their sound, and you said really reminiscent of Joe Cocker and stuff. So that's really interesting. I'm super stoked that I'm starting to find out there's all these just side, smaller, unknown, like super talented groups in this city. Like it makes me just happy. So, and you are of the ability with your podcast. See, I'm stuck that I get to do this once a week. So there's only so many weeks in the year, and it's, it can only be for an hour, and it is live. So, there's some people that have wanted to come in, and I'm just like, maybe not. Yeah. And I'll find a reason, but because I just don't trust them live on the air. But whatever. But you have a podcast. So, and I was actually on that podcast a while ago. So I've seen it firsthand how that works. It's really interesting. And you kind of went over how that started, like what led up to that before. But do you want to just tell that story real quick?
Yeah, no. I started the show with my buddy Chris. We started about May 2014 officially. We got going. We did about a year together, about 60-something episodes, and then Chris decided to part ways. He had a second child during the show and wanted to focus on being a dad more, and that was totally cool. And so once he left, I took the show from 1 day a week to 3 days a week. So I've been putting out 3 shows for a week for over a year now. And so this is I've got 230 episodes of all St. Louis music and comedy, and there's a few national acts sprinkled in there, but for the most part, it's all St. Louis and regional talent. I've been as far as like Cuba, Missouri, to hang out with Midnight Hour, and
you went all the way out to Jacksonville, Illinois for Inner Outlines, right? Or somewhere like that. What was the one even further out? Muscuda for Odom, I think.
Yeah. The Inner Outlines is farther than Muscuda.
Oh, is it?
That was Carrollton, Illinois.
You went to Carrollton. Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
And then I've been up in Columbia, Missouri with Driving Wheel and stuff. So there's I get around a lot for the show, and it's part of the excitement for me. I get to go like to band practice or venues or where very different things.
Vans and QT parking lots or Denny's or
you never know. I've been at Taco Bell's. And so it's kind of part of the excitement of the show, I think, too, is where I'm going to be able to record and pull it off. And some, obviously some are better audio recordings than others, but they're always a lot of fun. So.
Oh yeah, no, I had a blast, and it was really strange for me being interviewed instead of leading. I was so quiet. When I went back and listened to that, I was like, I sound like a timid little person, and anybody that knows me knows I don't really ever shut up. So I didn't know. I didn't know what to do. I was so out of my element, but it was super fun and it was super interesting. And your microphone that you have for that is just super shiny and pretty.
I use a single mic Blue Yeti USB mic. So yeah, I like it. It works nicely, but yeah, it is pretty.
It's pretty. I'm a girl. I just care about aesthetics. I don't know anything about sound. That's what I have him for.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, you always have really interesting groups on. When I get a chance to listen, I do a lot of times. It'll be in my car driving up at here from Fenton, because I live in Fenton, so driving all the way up to UMSL or whatever, or when I'm responding to emails or messaging or whatever. But that even gets hard because trying to hear what somebody's saying when you're talking. Sure. I don't get to listen as much as I'd like to because they are long, but I do go out of my way when it's a band I either know or a band that I know I've heard hype of.
Yeah.
Or sometimes you'll message me and say, hey, check these guys out. And I try to at least some of it. But
that is the nice thing with podcasting, though, is, my show runs about an hour, but it's nice that you can fast forward, rewind, listen on demand, essentially. So, if you wanted to listen on your way to work and pause and then listen the rest of the way on the way home, I do like that about podcasting format. So.
Right, and you have so much more, and we actually discussed this, and I never went any further with it. For me, you were kind of giving me, the lowdown on the logistics of it, but you're available on iTunes, you have your website, you're on YouTube, Stitcher, Do you have any more?
Yeah, there's Google Play music app is now doing podcasting on there. So yeah, a lot of people have the Google Play app, and then but yeah, Stitcher, rockpaperpodcast.com. They're all there, and you can stream them there. I kind of quit posting them on YouTube just because it was a lot of work for not a lot of activity. So, but they're very accessible about everywhere else.
Well, you're just an audio format too.
Yeah.
Like for us, YouTube's great because we have the video.
Right.
But and that would be hard to transfer into just audio. We didn't have the video yet really going last time you and I talked, which I like the video. I like the way now we've got the light, so it looks a little nicer in here and stuff. I like going back and looking at people's facial reactions. I was actually talking to him the other day. I'll go watch him after because he always uploads them. I'll go watch him afterwards, and I'll be sitting here talking to somebody like I'm talking to you. My back's to him, and I'll notice somebody else in the room is making faces at him, laughing or something. And I was like, what do you say to people? Chris Coleman was one. When I had New Lingo in here, he's sitting there, and I saw, like, what were you saying to him? What were you doing with my back turned?
Right.
He's just keeping people entertained, and that's fine, but mostly. But it's things like that. It's fun. It kind of brings you in from because I'm boring and I don't know what I'm doing yet. I'm a student, but I'm learning.
Yeah.
And it's fun, and I'm jealous of the fact that you have that ability to travel, to go wherever, to do so many, and you don't have the restrictions and limitations that I'm stuck on. It's a different thing.
Sure.
It's
yeah.
Different medium.
Yeah. To each his own. I mean, a lot of people like, various things. So I'm just trying to provide, some different content, and, I don't know. They both serve great purposes, I think. It's kind of mine is always kind of fun to, uncensored, unedited, and see what happens. And, some of them get pretty wild. So. Yeah. No, I kept it when I was doing mine because I was trying not to curse. I was like, oh wait, it doesn't matter. Right.
Like I don't have to. Like it's all good. So anyway, I guess we'll do another break here shortly. And as Shane said, Shane Presley, you can find him. Well, basically, if you just go to rockpaperpodcast.com, you have the links to everything else accessible there. Yeah. So I mean, that's basically your hub. So if somebody just does that, or they can search you on Rock Paper Podcast on iTunes. That's where I listen. Yeah. And check him out. He's got all the episodes available. There's a couple of bands that he's had in more than once, and it's always interesting to hear them catch up or rehash or whatever. And compare and contrast. Do you have anybody interesting? Oh, I'm sure you have interesting, but anybody special coming up anytime soon that you're working on or getting ready that you're excited for?
Yeah, the New Lingo one you mentioned. Their episode's coming out this week. A guy Richie Kilkin. Really talented young guy. Had a good time hanging with him. Played some live acoustic on the show, and so those will be coming out. I got a bunch of other stuff all lined up. So, but yeah, there's always like I said, 3 new episodes every week. I've been trying to put out there, so there's always something, plenty of content to listen to. So.
Right. And maybe we will tell some people where they can come meet you and try and get a hold of you to do some more after this song that we're getting ready to play now. So who is this? What's this song? I can't say this word.
Oh, yeah. I'm hoping I say it right. Yeah, this is Matthias and the Pirates. I believe the title is Brettanomyces.
Brettanomyces? Looks something like that. Brettanomyces. It's a hard title.
Yeah, it's he told me the story on the show. If you want to get the full version of it, you can go check it out. Matthias and the Pirates on Rock Paper Podcast. But he it's something to do with beer. It's something to do with like the hops and beer and stuff. Anyway, because he's into that, and he gave me the full story. But like anyway, that song it's got featuring 18 and Counting. They're it's more local hip hop based stuff, and they'll be playing the party as well. They're another band I felt deserved some more attention, and so this is I wanted to spin this song.
Alrighty, well here it is, and we will talk about that party in just a minute.